Today we'll be playing Cherry Tree High School Comedy Club, which is an overly long name, and it's really funny when you look and you see the Japanese version is just called Manken. One word name, every word name. But I guess they had to do it because it was originally a pun on a manzai comedy, which is like a specifically Japanese type of comedy, which obviously nobody out of the country is going to know. So I think they made a good choice here. But that's actually the most interesting part of it. This is a game I played. This is a game I'm hugely nostalgic. It's like one of the first RPG Maker games I've played, and it's also, in my opinion, one of the best ones I've ever played. It's fucking amazing. And I really want to replay it for this marathon, just to show everyone how rad it is. Also, I know a bunch of trivia about it. I just want an excuse to infodump my hyperfocus. Because that's a really fascinating thing. This game had a really, really good translation, and it had a second really, really good translation. This game has 2 translations. This game was actually translated by former members of Phoenix Wright 8 Attorney localization team. The first voice actor for Miles Edgeworth was the founder of this translation company. Miles Edgeworth translated this game. So the first translation of the game was heavily inspired by the translation style used in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, like changing all the characters to like Japanifornica and like keeping all the pun names and stuff. Keeping all the pun names and sense of humour was what made it really, really great and fun. But a lot of the fan response was like, you didn't really need to change it to America also. Like, nobody really thought that them changing it to America was the good part of Phoenix Wright. That was just a limitation of the executives. Having to change it to America was just like forced on them by the executives. And it took a really stupid, arbitrary requirement, oh, we have to make it America, and they did that in a way that was really creative and interesting. They made it like an alternate universe America where there were like a high level of Japanese immigrants and there was no non-Japanese prejudice, and it was common to have mixed race cities and stuff, and that was really cool. That was really inventive and a great way to solve the problem. But then the fans of this game were just like, well, there is no reason, there's nobody forcing you to make it in America, so why did you make it in America, except just for nostalgia of your previous franchise? What I really respect is the translators were like, yeah, actually, why did we do this? You are totally right. And they released a patch which lets you choose to play the game either with American names or with Japanese names. And both versions of the game are equally fun, and they rewrote all the jokes in both versions to match. So in the Americanized version, they rewrote a lot of jokes to fit more American pop culture. The Japanese version, they have still some jokes which wouldn't work in Japanese and translate into ones we'd understand, but mostly it's like how to understand these Japanese jokes in English. It's a really good, like, as a young teen, I had so much fun playing both versions and comparing and like finding out, like learning all this cool stuff I never would have known, and it was really great. But I do feel like they could have had a compromise in between, honestly. Like, you could keep the translated names so we understand the puns of the Japanese names, but just not also change it to America. I guess maybe it would be a bit of a setting buster if it was like, oh, this is Japan and my name is Miley instead of Myru, but like, I think that'd be a comparatively minor problem compared to like, why is there a Japanese shrine in the middle of America? There was a whole contrived like additional plot point added into the Americanized version of like, we are sponsored twins of a Japanese city and they sent one of their shrines over here brick by brick to symbolize our friendship, which is, again, a really funny and a unique solution to it, but yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm blabbering on so much about the good translation is now nobody will ever get to see it. This game has been delisted because the translation company went out of business in 2022. Sadly, they didn't have too much luck with other games after this. This was like their breakout hit, and unfortunately the 2 sequels to this game are very bad, like app gamey type phoning it in ones, which like they do feel like they totally forgot what the characters' personalities are, and the art style changed. It was so low effort, and it's such a shame. This is one of the most high effort RPG Maker games ever made. They really did kind of sell out. And unfortunately, I had a bit of a knock-on effect on the translation team. Neither the sequels nor any other game they ever translated really got to this level of success, and it sucks because now it means that the game that was their most popular is delisted because the company no longer exists. So I don't want to advocate piracy, but I just want to say, if you happen to somehow stumble into a copy of this game out there on the wild grey yonder, please play it. It is fucking amazing. And also, like, technically, legally, there is no way it can be prosecuted because, like, it is not legally available to actually buy anywhere currently anymore. Hypothetically, if it was me and I was a translator, I'd be happy that people were still playing and enjoying my game, even if I was physically being stopped from handing my game to you by the horrifying forces of capitalism. But also, if you don't want to do that, I recommend going and watching Let's Plays, like finding any friend who might happen to still have it downloaded on their Steam account. I am never going to let this leave my Steam library ever again. I'm so relieved I bought it when I had the chance. Or you could go in the comments of this very video and hassle Bonford to play a full Let's Play of it. If there is enough interest in it, I would be so happy to do that and to show the whole world. Anyway, going into the actual game and what the actual game is. It is Persona, but without dating. In RPG Maker somehow. I didn't know until this day right now, and this was made in RPG Maker XP of all things. You look at this art style and you tell me you could even tell it's made in RPG Maker at all, let alone one of the earlier ones. From the time this came out, I assumed it was in VX8, like the at the time most updated version. It's so fucking visually impressive. They somehow wrangled the RPG Maker system into a side-scrolling life sim calendar-based dating sim but without the dating, and it's so cool. It's all entirely about social links. There is no romance whatsoever. When I was younger, I called it a friending sim, and I was like, dear God, I wish there were more friending sims out there. And sadly, to this day, I do not know even one other game which has done this. If anyone out there knows, if you know any purely platonic games using dating sim style gameplay but not for dating, tell me. I would love to play them. As an Arrow Ace person who loves that genre but doesn't particularly like romance, I would adore to play more of them. This game has such a soft spot in my heart for being exactly what I needed at the time it came out. The premise of this game is that you play as a high school student who just really loves being an absolute crazy comedy goober. And it goes to befriend enough fellow students to start doing a comedy club at school. It's a really low stakes little story, but the bombastic, silly personalities of everyone and the huge focus on humour just really makes it a charming time. I was enjoying every single second of every one of these friendship routes, except kind of the pervert playboy guy. He was like a comedy trope that I've never really found funny, so yeah. But I mean, one guy out of like 7 is like a pretty good track record. And even though I didn't hate him, I just found him a bit boring. I'll show you the bastion of visual impressiveness from 2010. We are back and playing Cherry Tree High Comedy Club. Just had to give a little break to hear the amazing music. I'm actually playing this to cheer up after just finishing a scary horror game, so maybe I'll be even more positive about this than I was as a kid. I was saving playing this like the best possible moment because I think this is probably going to still win out as my favourite RPG Maker game of all time, unless we find something during the marathon which is even cooler. Let's set a timer and let's go, because the constantly looping music is a little bit annoying. But just look how cool this bloody title screen is. It's got all these levels of animation, amazing art style. Ooh, I'm so hyped. A little bit of interlacing on that magic. I guess they made a whole fucking visual novel in RPG Maker. You gotta see that they made a whole fucking side-scroll in RPG Maker. They made so much stuff. Like this is like, I feel it's like in the XP or VX. It's like one of the relatively early RPG Maker games. It was extra hard to make like such a completely genre-defining. Anyway, Mario says, "Whew, that was great." Nothing hits the spot like a rice omelette on the way home from school. Oh, okay. It's in launch options in the settings. We have the options to play the regular one or the westernized location. Originally, the westernized localization was the first one that came out, so I think it's kind of funny how they list them the other way, and now it defaults to using the Japanese names. You have no idea how much I miss these as a way of venturing. Thanks. Hey, hang on, you have some ketchup on you. There, so how was school? I bet you secretly missed it during your month away. Can't get anything past you, Dr. Watson. So I brought up with these guys again, but boy, that backfired. Talk about a major miscalculation. What do you mean by it, and who are those guys? Wait, is this about the school club you wanted to start? You asked the council for permission, did something happen? You could say that, old Chi-Chi summoned me and ended up fighting and everything. You're going to a fight with Chitose again? I guess she really does have something against you. Yeah, she's probably just jealous of my stunningly good looks. Oh, she can be very competitive. Wait, you're kidding, right? Yeah, well I guess she might resent all the things you did to each other back when we were kids. Flipping up skirts, putting frogs into each other's shoes, spoiling the ends of mystery novels, stuff like that. One of those things not like the others. Man, we really did pick on each other constantly. It was prank or be pranked. You guys had quite the rivalry. How did your comedy club petition turn out? You really want to know? Well... Look how fucking cool this looks! Oh my god, this is the majority of the games we're playing in this style. It's like side-scrolling, like fully drawn backgrounds, really big animated sprites. Oh! It's like coming home. Especially, it's not exactly because when I was younger I first played it in the westernized localization, but aside from that, everything's exactly how I remembered. Yo, Chi-Chi! I think I remember her name was like Octavia Richmond or something in the western localization. And I think the main character's name was like Sue Miley or something like that. They all had like very punny names. So one thing I think maybe if they just kept the punny names like in the Japanese-ified version, like you didn't have to go like a binary of either like nobody understands what the puns are supposed to be in these names or the entire game is now set in America. You could just have, like, it's still in Japan, but we still have changed the names to be understandable. I don't know. I feel like it does lose quite a bit of the game focused on comedy to not have the comedy names. But anyway, yo, Chi-Chi! I love our protagonist, she's such a crazy, absolute bastard. I love her. How many times must I tell you? Will you please stop calling me by a ridiculous and childish name? Address me properly as either Chitozi or Miss Karayasuma, then Karasuyama, not by some nickname you've made up. Oh, lighten up. I used to like when I made up nicknames for you. That's also a good thing about the game, is there is so much lesbian shipping tease. Like, the game as it is, there is no romance. It is still really intriguing how it's got the whole setup of like a Persona game, but with friendships instead. But there is loads of shipping tease, and it's entirely with all the female characters, and I love it. That was then, and this is now. To think we were friends, even for a second, puts a blemish on my otherwise perfect life. Come on, you don't really mean that. Don't tell me you lost your sense of humour when you became all high and mighty. Perhaps it's all a rebellious phase. What do you want? A lady's time is precious, you know. Perhaps it would be so, were you a lady, but your foolish expression says otherwise. About the proposal you brought before the student council this morning, I can't make heads or tails of it. Seriously, it's a request to form a new school club, duh. And so another harebrained idea surfaces, even the very name is incomprehensible. I guess you've never heard of the school legend. Legend? What legend? You know, a really popular stand-up comedy duo, the Grinmeisters? Imagine how that is not. That was translated for clarity, everyone else's names weren't. They were students at this very school. Can you guess what they did while they were here? They meisted and grinned! Yep, they were like... When I discovered that, I was psyched. I do remember the Cherry Tree High Comedy Club. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. That is just the exact combination of letters to make it hard for me to pronounce. So I'm just going to say Cherry Tree High Comedy Club. I heard that those two were the core of the club and it fell apart when they graduated. I heard they caused a lot of trouble. Well, whatever. I'm going to resurrect the customer and I'll do it with a bang. I'll follow the Gridmeister's footsteps and form a second female comedy duo to debut from this school. By the way, for the club meeting room and little offices to the side of the gym will be just fine. First things first, before the matter of meeting rooms, your application. Club President Mario Hobiso, Vice President Hoebi Nanahao. Is that it? You two are the sole members of the club? You only need two people for a comedy duo. Duh, Chi-Chi. It's Chitose and don't dirty you! Dirty you too! Nowadays, new clubs require a minimum of 5 founding members. Got that? 5 members. And that's the premise of the game! What? Why 5? That's so unfair. It's to keep the number of new clubs to be a manageable amount. You can be an unofficial club, but you won't be eligible to receive any club funding. Furthermore, you can't get meeting space among other things. Oh, how terrible! So, what do you do now? No way! You have to do something. Come on, we were friends. Hey, let go! How dare you! You're sorry. At any rate, you'll need 5 members who want to establish a club. We'll accept new club applications through April, so you have until then. I suggest you use your free time wisely. Choose it wisely. No, don't. You dare to laugh? This isn't a joke. Serves you right. Oh. Very well. This is a challenge the student council wishes, and I accept. You'll see, Chi-Chi. The end of student council tyranny is at hand, and I shall be the fair, smiling maiden who ends it. This noble battle for the comedy club, Operation Cutter, will go down the annals of Cherry Tree Town history forever. Yes, whatever. Good luck with that. So that's what happened. I still can't believe she pulled it on me so suddenly. It's just plain ruthless. But it wasn't so suddenly. That's the rules of the school, you silly thing. We always announce that rule this time of year, but you were in and out of school adventuring. Is that right? That's why I like how insane our protagonist is. Like, that's just casually dropped. It's like, she's a regular high school student, but she takes frequent absences to go on JRPG adventures. Nobody else in this world does, but this is not a JRPG world. Everyone just casually talks about it as if it's a normal thing. It never comes to me, you never actually get to play any of these adventures. Is that right? That could be a cool idea for a sequel, actually. But unfortunately, the sequels to this game are kind of naff, but the original game still stands above as amazing and shining, so let's not get into that yet. Is that right? Anyway, what's important now is I find 3 more people for our club. 3 more people at our club, so I'm already a member. You didn't even ask her first. Have you anyone else in mind yet? Isn't so much I have anyone in mind, except for people that I might have in mind are willing to be those people of mind of which I mind. I'm not sure I completely followed what you just said, but I'll take it to mean no. To make it worse, it's your last year. If you can't form a club this term, you won't have a second chance. It's more motivation to succeed. It's like a red flag for a bull in a china shop. That's not a good thing! I'm glad to hear that. Well, as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's what's most important, right? You bet. No matter what it is, everything's better with a smile. So yeah, that's a pun in her name, as her name and her surname put together mean everything's better with a smile in Japanese. So that was why the English dub was changing it to Sumaile. At least I think that's what it was. I can't confirm. I'll put up here if I got the pun incorrect. Oh, a customer. Welcome to Loco Moco. Looks like the afternoon rush is starting. I'll get out of your way. Be sure to come straight back. I have to start playing. Yeah, I forgot that her friend character works in. I shipped these two a lot when I was younger, but I forgot her character works in a cafe. That's one of many places you can go to raise all your stats throughout the game. Be sure to come straight back and start planning our strategy. Yes, ma'am. Yay! Oh, this song is so good. Let's view the game tutorial. I don't need to because I've played it. I may as well show you. I've always found it funny how it's this cafe with a little apostrophe in the E of it. Let's give a tutorial because I can just explain it as I play. At least as far as I know, I've remembered it all. But yeah, which button was it to hold down to move faster? I should have used the tutorial to find out which button it is to hold down to move faster. It's hold down space. Yeah. Look how fucking extra they put over the animation. You even have a good running animation. Yay. Yoda and Wixon's cafe are cute. I come here every day. Surely can't mean Hoemi. No, surely not. Don't compete for my girlfriend. It's a cafe Loki Mogo where Hoemi works part-time. Right now they offer a high tea for 400 yen. Eating cafe time, I won't toss the cafe. Yeah, so you've got to run around and it's basically like Persona but without any of the fighting, it's just the time management schedule. You run into various different places, you choose it, you've got to raise all your different stats and things. And here it's interesting that the stats are directly like choosing to master certain conversation topics to be able to befriend all the different characters, and you also got to run around to find all the different characters. It's all entirely about that's the premise of the game is you're trying to start a comedy club but you need a few more friends to make it, so go around and make friends! Yeah! Guys can't help but collect stuff. Some guys even collect rocks. Me, I'm a magazine collector. The latest magazine will come out Monday the 31st. Come look again to find the latest one. Yeah, magazines are they're like good passive stat boosts that don't take up any time, but they only appear sometimes. So this guy will tell you where they are. Oh, I can't remember which ones Hoemi liked. Darn. Be good to buy one of these while we're here. The turtleneck lady-like pets. That's all I can remember. I will go with music maybe, and art maybe. Hi there, Myro. No, long time no see. I haven't seen you around recently. Where have you been? Adventuring. Haha, instigating world peace. I love our maniacal protagonist. Oh, I didn't mean to collect that. I bought a tea. Because you can relieve your fatigue with items and stuff. Lovely little menu. Kamikata. Oh yeah, that's what I remember. The Kamikatas in the Westlife localization were called the Campbells, and I was just like, what the hell? That's my surname. No. Cherry Tree Park, Cherry Tree Station. I love the music. Phew, what a workout. I can't believe Kosoka goes up and down these stone steps every day. No wonder she has fires like sun. Yeah, I don't even know if it's ever confirmed if Myro really is actually a lesbian or if it's just like using it for the sake of joke. But oh yeah, if they ever made a sequel which canonically lets you have a lesbian dating sim, I'd be happy for it. But again, I'm so disappointed in how bad the sequels were, because this is just a game I would love to have an actual sequel to, but no, instead of just a bunch of spin-offs which entirely change the genre and remove everything that was good about it. I'll blabber about those at the end. Oh, here's a perfect chance to make a jump. You think you're so cool, but now I get to hear you scream. Oh, hi, Myro. Huh? How in the world did you know I was there? I sense a disturbance in the force. What, me cause a disturbance? Hey, I wasn't gonna do a thing. Then why are you so jittery? Just kidding, I heard you talking to yourself at the top of the stairs. Just out loud saying that entire monologue. And here I thought I was the one who would do the spooking around here. You got a cat's ears, I swear. Don't know about that, but apparently have fires like Touch on Lee. You heard that too? Maybe. But enough about me. Let me guess, you're here to beg forgiveness for something stupid again, right? It's not like that. Jeez, you made me sound like a total troublemaker. Then why are you here? To see you, of course. I hadn't seen you in a while, so I thought you'd pay a visit. And I have my ulterior motives to come join my comedy club. Social call. How's the club coming along? I'm working on it, still a recruiting stage though. Really? And so it begins. Except those who seek to fulfill his desire face 1,000 traps to their left and 10,000 to their right. And you're here stuck in the middle with me! But you're a driven type who succeeds and does not lose their way. I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Ours are the philosophy. Is there a single philosophy probably you don't know, Kosoko? If there are traps on either side, all I have to do is charge straight ahead! But you should be aware that forward momentum makes it harder to change course. I'll be praying for you. Oh, and before I forget, do you think you can help me tidy the shrine grounds in your spare time? A part-time helper recently left. I can pay you. Yeah, that's how you get more money as you do part-time work for it. Man, everyone's been on my case to get a job recently. Who am I to turn down a shrine maid in distress? What the heck, I'll do it. Like 99% of the text boxes of our protagonists say, oh, I'm weak for pretty girls. Like, if it's not meant to be canon, then come on. So it'll be fun to wear a shrine uniform. Deal. As long as you do a good job, it means no slacking off. In the afternoon, you can get part-time work cleaning a shrine. It's tiring work, but you'll receive 1,000 yen payment and pass the time. Okay, so go around and see stuff before I put. Yeah. Oh, this is another thing. Oh, it's an empty bottle. I'll pick this up. Yeah, that's genuinely one of the only flaws I have about the game is Born of the Future. I originally spent like the entire Let's Play trying to remember what it was I didn't like about the bottles. So here I am, quicker summary now. It's the only way to make money without passing time. Every day there's a randomized amount of little glowing spots on the ground, which can either be rubbish which does nothing, or a glass bottle where if you get 10 of them you can get some money for it. I think there's also a small chance of picking up like a useful item like a magazine, but what bugged me was just like how RNG it is to get the one thing you actually want to get the money, and how long it takes and how much it has to be like clicking them every single day, and how it would make me rage against the heavens, and I was like, no, I didn't want a stat magazine today, I wanted money! But I am just overblowing it. In the grand stakes of things, it's like the most minor gameplay error ever in a game that's otherwise excellent. You do end up getting, like, if you're trying to go for, like, perfect on your first run, because you can't just go New Game Plus and start over if you don't get the perfect ending. You're aiming to befriend every single character within the time limit, which will be very difficult on your first run. So basically, if you're going for this perfect run, or if you're doing a speed run or anything, having peak luck with the small amount of money bottles will drastically cut down your time. But if you're just doing regular gameplay, it's not going to matter as much. But that is generally the only complaint I can remember ever having about the game at all, so that just shows how much I loved it. So it's a good matter. Chit-chat. It's rather cool today, isn't it? I don't like it when the breeze blows. Why is that? Didn't you know that traditionally shrine maidens don't wear anything under our robes? What? Seriously? I'd ship it with every single fucking girl in the game. Kosoko is so beautiful, I wish I get to know her better. I'm sorry I have bad news for you. If you value your life, then give it up. I cannot remember a single straight character in this game except that one annoying Playboy boy. That's probably why he's so annoying, because none of the girls show any interest whatsoever in him. Movie theatre has ladies' night on Sunday. I'll drop in here after work. Thank you for that. Because I have to remember, as again, if you want to go for like a perfect run of it, you have to remember exactly what time, like everything has like sales and stuff. So Max Spin Video Game Arcade. They have all the latest video games, including fighting and shooting games. Play some games. Yeah, that raises the games. So let's see if there's a menu. Yeah, our repertoire. See, another really good custom status screen. Like, look how fucking cool this looks. Imagine trying to wrangle this in old RPGmaker. But yeah, like Persona, but instead of having just 5 skills, because the entire game is about the socializing, you have like a whole bunch of skills. And all of these, if you get to a certain level, you unlock different conversation topics with the characters, and you'll be able to level them up faster. So, as well as memorising exactly where to go at the right time, and getting all of the money you possibly can as fast as possible, and buying all the items as fast as possible, you also have to remember exactly which subjects every character likes, and then use those in the correct order. It's like, do I wait until I've got a higher up level and talk to them? Do I waste time doing this one? Like, it's a lot of really good time management. It's like way better and more interesting. Also just the fact that it is fair and winnable. It's not nearly as hard as it is in Persona, unless you are going for getting it all in one run instead of going for New Game Plus. If I remember, there's some kind of if you get the right item in the crane game, you can get like a side quest that can boost it to someone else later. Not gonna go for that now. Yeah, and I remember the park is where you're most likely to find the randomly spawning bottles. This part of town is very pretty this time of year. Oh, that's the only typo I've seen so far, and it's full of picnickers on the weekends. I've played this game like 5 times, I never noticed that typo. It's a bit, that's one minor complaint. It's a bit annoying how, in order to talk to a character, you have to walk over them rather than stand next to them. That's a bit unintuitive. Foo. I heard there's a big celebrity living in this house. Apparently only a few people know who it is, though. I guess we know because we can see the big sign saying the Kamakata residence over there. I'm a bit old to pretend to be a Riata rider. Hold on there, don't be so quick to grow up. Hey, do a thing for us, please. It's Yatta Rangers time. Evil will never triumph as long as the Yatta Riders are here. Yatta Rangers, Yatta Riders? Oh, maybe that was like, they mixed it up because like, maybe because it's just like undubifying. Maybe they mixed up, it was actually original, a different name then. And that's from Notice Board reads, Port Garden Grand Opening, March 30th. And that's our door we go back to end the day. Let's go to school, let's find more people. I love this song too. Every area has such a good song. Oh, school with only a C and not a H. Were there more typos in this I haven't noticed, or did they add typos in the undubbing patch? What's up, Maya? We don't see you here in the library very often. Are you lost? Oh, very funny. Oh yeah, you can read magazines for free, but it's random which one you get. You do homework here. Oh, that's also a thing, is you have like a set of how much homework you do. If you don't finish that by certain milestones, then you end up getting a bad ending early on. But it takes up time that you could be using to raise any stats, because you don't get any stats raised from homework. That's also one thing, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad point, but just a kind of like less fun point. It's just arbitrarily having you have to do something which has no benefit whatsoever, otherwise if you don't do it in a certain time period, you'll get a bad ending. I suppose they have to do something to add some kind of difficulty to it, which is maybe not the most slick way of doing it. It would make sense if homework like gives you stat ups in like smartness or something. Those homework reports are full of questions that need research. I have to actually study for these. Nothing interesting here. Yeah, I think you have a random chance of finding a book on a bookshelf. At this point, that's also a bit odd, so depending on what time in the story you can go to different areas of the school and find different people here. It seems like we can't actually find any more people here. So I guess the only friend we can talk to immediately is the Shrine Lady? Okay, let's go and raise some stats. First, let's use our magazines. Oh wait, we can't use them in the menu, so do we have to, I can't maybe remember, I remember them as being something that you use without taking up time. Maybe you have to wait until a certain point to use them. Let's read a magazine here. Pick up a red copy of the local town guide, cherry picks. I love this, like, this how much detail they put into this. It's so many different custom arts for everything, animated interface and everything. It's just like, my mind is blown imagining how we managed to do this in the eras before there were, like, dedicated plugin support for RPG, because that's it's one of the early games when like plugins were still called scripts and it was an entirely fan-made thing you had to like try and get into the game. Like nowadays, RPGmaker MV and onward, the engine actually does like naturally support, like there is a folder you can just put all your plugins in, and the game and the interface has a button for it in the menu. Back then it was like you had to customize them entirely using like text boxes and stuff like that outside of the actual interface. Oh, the memories. And articles from the town history and new developments planned by the Mishima group. Your history skill increased. Evening. More wonderful news. Oh, that nostalgic, silly noise. I'm back. So it smells good. What's for dinner? I mean, this character, I adore Mum, who we're always very sassy to, and she's very sassy back. Good timing, I just finished cooking. Want a plate? What's this? I recognise that smug smile. Don't tell me you made lobster thermidor au crevettes with a Mornay sauce. You think I'd make something that fancy? Hoemi should be back soon too. I don't know how to pronounce Hoemi. I think if I'm getting correct, I hope I'm getting correct. I can't remember what her name was in the version I played when I was younger. No, it's someone who works hard. Ever consider learning from her? Hey, I wasn't exactly goofing off, that's what you're implying. I was working my part-time jobs. Well, no, you weren't, but yeah. Yeah, sweeping the shrine and making jewelry. Get rid of it. Okay, that's another one we can do. I don't remember where you go to get that one. So word for people you know, you're a moocher. Get out of here and wash up, okay? As usual, delicious dinner was had by all. At night in the dorm. You know, the exact opposite of Persona meme, and then no one had dinner that night. This is like, and then everyone had dinner that night because we pissed her off, and she's just still really nice anyway. But she's very tsundere about it. I like her. She's like tsundere about being like a mother figure to all these kids. I'm so stuffed. Packs away the food that way, but she never gains a pound. As is stereotypical of every anime character ever. That stew was terrific, but there was something unusual about it I can't put my finger on. Karuka put some leftover pineapple in it, that's why it was sweet but tangy. Pineapple stew? Now I want to try pineapple stew. I've got to hand it to her. Karuka uses leftovers like an iron chef. Her cooking even makes up for all her other bad habits. Shh, it'd be in hot water if she hears you say that. Do I look like I have a death wish? Well, now that our stomachs are full to the Myro Cave, Robin, we have strategizing to do! I love our crazy protagonist, I love her. So are there any people in the homeroom who haven't joined the club? I'm not certain, but honestly I really don't know anyone we could recruit. Really, man, so help you are, Hawaii. She's so nice, she's so lovely. She's your Robin to your Batman, and she's more like the Batman and you're like the very incompetent Robin. But anyway. Well, you haven't come up with anyone either. And you know lots of people, you should at least know 5 you can convince. By this time of year, pretty much everyone's already in a club. The people who aren't usually have good reasons not to be. They're criminal records. I suppose it's probably true, but I still think they're our best shot. You know, you're right, it's worth a try. From the mouth of a Hoemi, oft times come gems. Let's try to recruit any new students too. Good call, a bit easier. Yeah, I think one of the characters was a younger student who hasn't yet started in the high school but will in the fall or something like that. And she was the one who, like, her parents run, the sweet shop. And then her story was about her parents considering whether they should sell off a sweet shop because it's not as popular nowadays because there's some sort of a big business which is franchising. Then you have to make peace with them. The big business lady turns out it's not as bad as she seemed, and she ends up like working together with them to make their shop like a franchise thing, but still keeping its own unique identity. I'm surprised how much of this plot is still in my brain after so many years. I just remember liking her best because she has a cool cat hat. Oh, but remember how I can be with strangers. I get shy and tongue-tied. Nah. He's a veritable shrinking violet. Hey, what's all the homework stuff scattered around everywhere? Huh? Oh, I think I should hit the books. What? Spring break just started. We have more important things to do. Don't tell me you're the type to start on your holiday assignments on the very first day. Well, yes, and you're the type to leave it all to the last minute and panic about it, Myro. That's right, you just can't appreciate the thrill of not knowing whether you'll finish it in time, but that's your loss. Don't come trying to me at the last minute, Myro. I always wondered, what does Fruit End Girl mean? Hey, you're still up. Figured you were of all the racket. What's up, Karuku? I forgot to tell you earlier, but a new girl is moving in tomorrow. She'll be a neighbour, won't that be? Yeah, she's the girl with the turtleneck who has a dog, and she likes pets as a conversation topic. And she's like the shy character. That's at least as far as I can remember. I don't remember much about her story. Ooh, a transfer student? That's awesome. She's a sophomore just like Hoemi. I do not know what that means because I'm not American. I still can't remember. All I know is freshman means year 1. I don't know what sophomore means. I know senior. See, freshman is the first year, senior is the last year. What are all the ones in between? So be sure you're free tomorrow. May I ask why? To help her move in? Why else? I need you to help with her stuff. Ah, that makes sense. Alright, after all, what else is there to do on a lazy Sunday, right? Plus, someone has to watch out for poor old Karuku's bad back. That's one thing they make loads of jokes about Karuku being so old, but in the art style, everyone looks the same age. There are several characters who are supposed to be like old grown women, and there's one who's supposed to be much younger than you, but everyone kind of looks exactly the same height. Hey, talking about me behind my back? Yeah, like, even her face shape is exactly the same age. She's just got like mildly more squinted eyes. Anyway, the new girl's arriving in the morning, so no sleeping in, got it? Yes, Karuku, good night. I do like the art stuff, I do just feel I could have conveyed, like, age a bit better. Talk about lucky, a transfer student is a chance to recruit a new club member. Yeah, just watch me put my silver tongue charm to work. I love how immediately endearing and gremlin our protagonist is. Like, oh, that's one of the big reasons I love her so much. Like, every character is so goddamn lovable. In the evening, you can move between a Unity Dorm first floor and Myra and Hoemi's room. Would you like to view a tutorial? Yeah, I don't know, it's like hard to remember like what was the things that you can still do in the dorm in the evening. Desk, a table, a bed. Okay. At the desk, you can do homework or call a friend. When you do homework, one homework assignment will complete it. When you call a friend, your friendship level. Oh yeah, that's why you can raise their levels up without actually having the conversations. But if you can only call a friend with your friendship level is higher to obtain their phone number. Table you can make. Yeah, that's where you do your other part-time job. You work at home. And watch TV is another one of a random chance for a random stat going up. And bed is just, oh, that's where you read your magazines. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why I was always prioritising buying the magazines when I played it when I was younger, because it's one thing you can do to fill up his extra time slot. If you read a magazine, read a magazine. Otherwise you have no choice except just to go to bed and you lose up on some time. You can read a magazine any number of times, but the increase in skill level will reduce from second reading. Yeah, the increase in skill level reduces so much that it's not really worth it, so it is basically just read it once unless you have no other option left. And going to bed early does have the benefit of recovering more fatigue. Oh yeah, I forgot, you can only save by talking to Hoemi. That's a bit annoying. I guess maybe it's because the game is like such an intriguing and unique different interface that maybe they couldn't pull off saving anywhere and there might have been glitches. I'm excited about the new transfer student. Chit chat! Here, a new pasta restaurant is opening in the next town. We'd like to go sometime. If I go all the way to the next town, we can ask Karuka to make pasta for us. It'd be nice to try some cooking from somewhere else. Very when she's asking you out on a date, lady. That's one of the biggest reasons I dislike the sequel, is because I ship these guys so much the sequel puts a wedge in it. Look how cool every goddamn interface is. Who are you? Hi Myra, you're getting through your home. Oh, I guess you're just another person in the dorm who's not actually a main character. Huh? You're not doing it, are you? Don't just make Hoemi do it for you. Talk to Karuku. Oh yeah, you're the one I return the recycled bottles to. Yeah, and you, yeah, she encourages you to recycle, so she gives you money for however many you find. I always really liked her hair with like the little blonde tips, like it looks so cool. Hey, have you been teaching the neighborhood kids to call me Grandma Karuku? I don't know how old she's actually supposed to be. Like, to me, I assume she was like 20 or something, but if she is actually supposed to be older, they do not portray her very well. Let's magazine! Okay, so here, what I find interesting is that you start the game already having 2 magazines you've already mastered. So I think it's an interesting way of like integrating and making your character seem more real. Like they have already completed. And also when you looked in the menu, like you had some stats which already have stat level 1 on them. I can't remember, I think it was either music or art that Hoemi likes. This month's issue has a feature on contemporary art and critical opinion. Your art skill increased. Your art skill is repeat several. This is also why, in like 99% of all the RPG Maker games I've ever planned I want to make someday, it has this exact interface looking for when you gain stats. I always wanted to like tribute this game in that way. I really like how it looks. A little chibi like that. And the sliding slides. This game just lives rent free in my head as the very definition of a good RPG Maker game. Mario Huiso is go! Well, kinda. If you recover your fatigue to max, then when you wake up you have a chance of starting in hyper status, which means that you get boosts to all your stats. So yeah, the main character being a hyperactive absolute loony is actually a gameplay benefit. Also, I wonder what that post in the background is supposed to be. Maybe that's an advertisement for a different game by the same company. Wow, you're up? Haha, you're witnessing the birth of a new me starting today. Really? This should be interesting. I came to let you know that the new girl's arrived. She's on her way from the station, so you should wait for her downstairs. Okay, let's go! But similar to a Persona game, they do start the game out with like a lot of story and not too much freedom, but they did at least like let us get into the gameplay a lot faster. We got some of it, you got a brief preview of it. But yeah, I love her really long dog. This must be it, Unity Dormitory. It's on top of a hill, so the view should be nice. Hey, do you think that's her with a glasses, a tight sweater? Mario meet a woman without hitting on her challenge. Guess it must be her. Karuka didn't mention the dog though. Hey, over here. I wonder, what does Futen Girl mean? Oh, I forgot to set the timer. Okay. But on the recording it says that we've gone up to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna set the timer and go for another 30 minutes. Originally there was a tangent here about me looking up a bunch of websites about the game. I've moved that to the end of the video where it'll make more sense. Instead of putting in here a tangent that came earlier in the Let's Play, that I thought was taking away from getting into the game fast enough, it is about my history of the game and why I liked it so much, because I played it when I was in a really terrible house. I first played this game when I was struggling really badly with moving house for like the first time when I was moving out of a homeless shelter. It was like literally my first time ever having a house of my own. Well, not like I didn't buy a house of my own, but you know, like living in a rented accommodation of my own. And I was so stressed out and scared, and it turned out the place I went was a really bad neighborhood, and I didn't know when I was moving in. I kind of got like assigned where I was supposed to go, because that's how it goes on the housing benefit scheme. Like I just told where a house is available and you have to go there. And I spent quite a few years in that really bad neighborhood waiting on the waiting list to be assigned to somewhere else which is better. Thankfully, where I currently live right now, it's wonderful and lovely. But if you ever visit Wales, St. Mellons is not a good place to live. It's a good place to live if you happen to be rich. It is a place with the worst travel links I've ever seen in any place in the entirety of Wales. You cannot get anywhere unless you have a car. Almost everywhere else in the entire country is like, aside from like in the literal farms, it's like there's a really intensive, really well fleshed out public transport and bus system. In St. Mellons, one bus for the entirety of St. Mellons, it would take an hour and a half to get to the main city of Cardiff, which for reference is 20 minutes away by car. It literally took 3 times the length on the bus, because the bus had to go down winding every single road in the entire neighbourhood, because there was only one bus. And I got motion sick so bad, I ended up just completely retreating into my life and barely ever socialising, because there was nothing to do. There was literally just like a Tesco, one pharmacy, one charity shop. There was a library that was shut down for the entire time I lived there, and it reopened like 2 days after I moved away, and I was like, no, that would have been at least one thing to do. And on top of all that, there was a high rate of juvenile crime in the area. It's so weird, like, there's such a stereotype, like, oh, areas of a lot of immigrants, they must be bad. But no, St. Mellons is like the most majority white neighbourhood I've ever lived in my entire life. And it had no holds barred the worst crime problem of any place I'd ever lived in. The place I'm currently in now has like a really high proportion of Islamic people. And it's lovely and it's great. I have had no crime complaints. The closest I've had is my neighbour had a crime complaint. When I was living in St. Mellons, the person below me in a block of flats kept having their windows smashed in like every day in a week. I couldn't take my own rubbish out for multiple months because people would just come along and use my rubbish bins for some reason. They would leave like big steaming, like not even in black bags, big steaming, rotting, wet piles of like peels and like shit and crap and just all over the place. Like I would walk out my door and step into bags of dog shit repeatedly, and it was just a nightmare. And I had to like keep storing all my rubbish up in my shed because I could not lend it. That means there was a rule like we can only accept one rubbish bin per week, and I'm like, I have to spend all my time like packing other people's stuff into my rubbish bin because they just keep leaving it on my lawn. And that's the only time I ever had someone break into my house was I in St. Mellons. The person below me kept changing because they kept having their house broken in. I had like 5 different neighbours in the space of 1 year. There was literally, I woke up in the middle of the night to an explosion. I looked out of my window and the entire field behind my house was on fire. Some kids had you know office chairs and they have a little aerosol in them that makes it go up and down. Some kids had like taken a hammer to that to bash it open and set it on fire just to have something to make explode. Everyone on the road was calling the fire department. They had like 5 different call-ins from everybody in the fire department at like 3 a.m. in the morning. We have no idea what's happening. The field is on fire. The fire department come down and they fix it, and it's just desiccated remains of an office chair, and we were left completely confused how it happened until like the news came out a few days later. And yeah, I was just terrified every time I saw like any group of like 10 to 15-year-olds in a crowd in that area. It was really, really, really young kids who were doing all the crime too. It was a really, really, really strange area. I can kind of see why, like, if your kid's in that environment where you don't get to go anywhere ever or socialise in any way except, like, finding your own fun, let's put it that way, then, yeah, I can see how it can get that way. I kind of hope everyone else in St. Mellons either manages to get a car, somehow becomes rich enough to get a car, or they manage to move out to some place where you can actually go on the bus to get basic shopping. Like, that was the most annoying part. The Tesco's was closed, like, multiple days. It was closed on Sundays. It's literally the only place I ever found where Tesco was closed on Sundays. It was closed for like all religious. It was a quite religious area, I think. And like the library was closed on Tuesdays. Why Tuesdays? What has that got to do with it? That can't be also a religious day, right? And they did not sell vegetarian food at all. It was, I don't know why. It's like most of the time Tesco, like for reference, Tesco's a supermarket. Usually supermarkets, they have like one standardised set of what they sell. But no, this Tesco did not sell any vegetarian or like any alternative foods of any kind. Like I was like struggling to even buy fish. It was just like meat. It wasn't even a small Tesco. So like it's a big Tesco, but the selection of food was really, really weirdly limited. Like if you had allergies, then you're just fucked. I'm lucky I don't have allergies to anything except mint, which is easy to avoid. Bit of an off-topic ramble, but basically I played this game during a really bad and tough time of my life when I was indoors a lot, to say the least. I remember playing this when I didn't even have much furniture in the house, because again, it was my first house I'd ever moved into. I was waiting for like basic furniture, like a cooker, and to get the heating actually put on. So just imagine me like scrungled up, freezing cold. The only piece of electronics I have in the entire house is like a really, really slow old PC, a tiny monitor, and this game comforting me through the stress hell. And yeah, it's sweet to my heart. Stumbling into an excellent game in a non-excellent time of your life just makes it even more excellent. A bit more information I remembered after playing Wine and Roses for this marathon. Both of those games I played on this same day when I was really stressed out first moving into this house. It was the first time I played Wine and Roses, but not the first time I played Cherry Tree High. It was instead the first time I played the undubbed Japanese names version. It had just recently come out around that time, I think. So I can't actually remember the day when I first played it. It was probably like 15 or so. It was like very early. It was like one of the first RPG Maker games I'd ever tried. It was a huge influence on me. During that era when my main OC was like inspired by Loki from Norse myth. There's gonna be like vampire detectives. It was a whole thing. But yeah, I downloaded like my comfort game new version and then just ran a pack of new RPG Maker stuff off the forums, and that comforted me during this hard time of my life and inclined me to have positive impressions of all of them. And it's just a shame that Wine and Roses didn't live up to that. And then let's set the timer again and do another 30 minutes. Hey, over here! Stoke. Hello. No need to be shy. Feel free to shout a big hello! Welcome to Unity Dorm. I'm Mario, and this is my lovely assistant Hoemi, who I'm going to flirt with at every possible opportunity. Nice to meet you. Yeah, assistant, you say? Don't listen to her, I'm just a roommate. Oh, I see. My name is Yuriko Nagagiwa, so that's what her name is in the Japanese version. I'm a new dorm. I don't remember what her name was in the dub either. Every time a character is introduced, I'll put up a little pop-up saying what the name is in both versions. I'm a new dorm mate. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure's all ours. Looking forward to living with you. We're dorm mates now, so feel free to ask us anything, okay? Oh, but no questions about our criminal operations or any personal details like our real names. Criminal operations? I thought this was just a dorm. Myro, you're confusing the poor girl. What, you didn't realise I was joking? Ignore what Myro said. We'll help you carry your things. Now let's get you settled in. Thank you. That's the last of them, right? Yes, thank you. How can I ever repay you? How indeed. While cash works, we also accept major credit cards. Myro, we're just happy to help. Anyway, you certainly have a lot of books. Sorry about that, I like to read. Hey, hold it. Don't tell me this is your mat. Yes, he is. You know that pets aren't allowed in this dorm, right? It was in your contract. They really went over the top in animating really good little speech bubble pop-ups. There's like 1,000 frames. It was, but I'm sure I read every line before I signed. Well, let me have a problem. Does this mean I have to send him home? But without him I get scared. Oh, of course, he's a service animal. I missed out on that entirely when I was a kid because I didn't know they existed yet. That adds a whole extra level of nuance to the character that I love. Oh, what should I do? I need to make yet another girl cry, Karuko. I don't want to hear it. You know I'm only following the rules. Yeah, well, rules are meant to be bent, ain't they? Besides, wouldn't it be great having a lovable dorm mascot? The one you were talking about, we already have a lovable dorm mascot. It's you, Myro. Fall over. I guess the mutt can stay, as long as it doesn't bother any of the other students. For the moment it becomes a nuisance out on the curb, understand? Thank you very much. Yeah, just take care of it, okay? If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go to my room and start unpacking a little. Okie dokie, well, see you later then. By the way, dinner here is at 7 PM. If you aren't here by 7, Karuga won't dish it out. Oh, let's have a welcome party tonight after dinner. You too, Hawaii. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh, you heading out, Myra? Come now, we have a club to build. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right, up and at 'em. Yeah, hey, Karuga. Spring break, guys have it so good. Chit chat. Hey, you're forming a school club. I hope you know what you're doing. Make sure you take responsibility for it. I will. Maybe I should buy every magazine while I'm here. Hey, Chitose! You look like you have nothing to do. You enjoy travel, don't you? Or you get a car or motorbike license? Neither. I enjoy using my own 2 feet too much. I should run around and see if I can find anybody else before I start choosing what stats to build. Hey, Grandpas! Mitaka Castle that you see over there is the highest building in this town, you know. The mission of a group has seen to it that nothing here is built higher than that castle. I didn't even think about how odd that must be to like Americans seeing that, because I live in a town which also just has a castle right in the middle of it. Cardiff Castle. Wales and Japan, the one thing we have in common. Also, the suffix chan for little girls. Like, there was one thing I always remark on is like how annoying it was in Dragon Quest IX. There's a town which uses Welsh accents in the English dub, and I was like, why did you not translate chan as bark? Bark in Welsh means exactly the same as chan in Japanese. It's like a one-to-one translation. It's like Myru-chan, Myru-bark. Exactly the same. The most matching word you could ever get, and it always bugged me how they just didn't do it in that one unique opportunity of a Japanese game being translated into a Welsh town. Also, it's rare to even find Wales in games ever. We are a not very well appreciated country. Dragon Quest IX, Kudalka, that is the sum total of everywhere I know. Hello Myra, is Karuka well? She's looking after dormitory properly. Yes, I'm learning a lot from her. Mahjong, for example. Can't meet him yet, but we can steal all his rubbish. Let's bookstore. I can buy almost all of the magazines. Now I must do more part-time jobs for the rest of the magazines. And the 30th is when the 31st is when the magazines come back. Thank you, magazine guy. What shall I do? What shall I do? Hoemi, where are you? Okay, let's go and buy some at Hoemi's cafe. That's my favourite one, I love it. Eat some tasty fare and your cooking skill increase a little. Oh, cooking is what Hoemi needs, I think. That's what she likes. Hoemi! Yeah! Hi, how's your day going? Better now I've seen you. Cafe where I work wants to attract more customers. It's already so busy I'm rushed on my feet. Oh, how do I start doing the... I've totally forgotten how I start doing the social links. Oh, hello, random person. Let's try working at a shrine sometime wearing the traditional outfits. There's nothing very glamorous about it. You'd be scrubbing floors all day. Let's time to money! I like how you do actually get to see Mario in the traditional outfit. That's good. You won't clean the shrine. You did a great job of pay 1,000 yen! I can go buy another magazine! Magazines. Hey, what's everyone up to? Don't tell me the cops came and took Karuku away. You're late. We're prepping for tonight's welcome party. So quit yapping and start helping. You really should come help out. Haha, right, I forgot that was tonight. Sorry about that. And so, to welcome Yuriko, the girls made a variety of dishes, or in some cases attempted to. It was a wild night of feasting and partying, and then all too quickly. Blurg, I think I overate. What a lively dorm. It's really fun here. Yes, it's more like being at sleepover in a school dorm. So, Yuriko, I hear you're a sophomore. That means we're in the same grade. I guess so. If you don't mind my asking, why are you transferring in now? Well, I heard Cherry Tree High graduates find a wide variety of jobs. I haven't really figured out what I want to do yet, so I was hoping to find a clue here. Say no more, totally understand. You come to our school in search of adventure, right? In a way. So tell me, I'm just checking. But if you're not sure what you want to do, you probably haven't joined any of the school clubs yet, eh? Yeah, that's true. I'm still considering which I should join. Yeah, really? Nope. I did look through a school brochure and there were some unusual ones. I mean, Knights of the Cherry Tree and the Cherry Tree Ninja Clan? Not many schools have clubs like those. I want a game about even more games I would prefer to have a sequel about. I didn't know how brochures are. They're meant to sell you on stuff, right? But we do have a cosplay club. Anyway, that's not important. Hoemi and I are starting a new club this year, Yuriko. Right now we're still considering members. How about it? Care to join? With me? Oh, I don't know. What kind of club will it be? Oh, it's a club for comics. We'll sit around, drawing comics. I see. Well, I do love to read comics. Perhaps I'd like drawing them too. Myro, what are you doing with seeing the poor girls? I'm sorry, but Myro means comics as in comedians. Oh, so the club is more like a club for stand-up comedy? Yes, but it's okay if you're not interested. I totally understand if you don't want to deal with her strange humour. What exactly is so strange about it? Don't mind her. Myro's pretty famous for being a resident school weirdo. Sometimes just hanging out is tiring. Don't worry, just enjoy your time at school. That's what's most important. May I ask, why is she a weirdo? Well, she's a high school senior, but she still gets excited about kids' cartoons, and she impersonates them in public. Oh no! Exactly like me, the person playing this game! No wonder I relate so much to her! What's more, she argues about them with the kids. It's mortifying. Okay, that's what one thing I do. If you're an adult in a fandom that's mostly for kids, don't go bullying the kids. Don't go being mean to the kids. Don't be going like, oh, you're not kidding correctly. Come on, man. Hey, don't mock for Yatta Riders. That show is a masterpiece of modern entertainment. I was letting our new doormate know what she's living next to. You don't mind, do you? You don't mind, do you? When you're making me look bad, yeah. Come on, whose side are you on? We agreed to get her to join. All you have to do is play along and... Objection! Yeah! As you can see, this game was translated by some of the Phoenix Wright members. We should respect Yuriko's opinions first and foremost. Spoil. Just a tiny white lie, not a felony prosecutor Nanaho. Now then, Yuriko Nagua, write your name on his club application. Yikes. That's going too far, Mario. Yuriko, you don't have to do what she says. Watch out, she has her sights on you. And with that, Yuriko became a target for recruitment. So yeah, Mario can be a little bit of a jerk sometimes, but it's always in an entertaining and silly way where it's just clearly just a bit socially oblivious. And the whole point of the game is that you have to genuinely make friends with all the characters before they'll actually join your group. And she does like end up learning a lesson, like learning more about the characters and then bonding them with them more clearly. And it's just, it's nice. It's nice to have a game which it doesn't just start with a cast full of unrelatable arseholes. It's like, at the most we have some joking bickering, and then everyone in the end wholesomely learns their lesson, becomes the best friend. Even the silly playboy guy who's a bit of a jerk more than everyone else, even he ends the game being a wholesome friend of everybody. It's so sweet dreams fuel. I love this game so much. Let's do some homework while we're here, just to shove it in the homework. Okay, but that's the wrong one for homework. You did some homework! Completed a homework assignment. Yeah, nothing really happens when you complete the homework. It's just if you get to the end of each month without completing the homework, you get a penalty. Yay! Character! Big sis, you're back! Yes! Amani, that's what your name is in Japanese. Hey Myra, welcome back. It's been a while, huh? Hey Amani, I guess so. Is it just me or did you get taller? I wish. I'm no Gulliver, that's for sure. Yeah, Gulliver was much taller. Wasn't the others that were smaller? You know which one's which, right? Of course I don't. I was just waiting for you to answer. After all, there's no point in answering my own question, right? Wow, you're right. You're so smart, sis. Yeah, that's Marnie's plot. So she blindly believes Myro's crazy hype about herself and doesn't get how we can see how she's totally bullshitting. Myra, stop being a bad influence. So how's the shop doing? What's today's special? It's a candy store, silly. The selection's always the same. You know, I've always wanted to go into a candy store and buy everything in it. Maybe you could if you used all your savings. If I had any, I would have done it by now. Oh, what's new? Don't say nothing. I was thinking you just moved up to high school, right? Hey, you want to join my club? I like how even with this character who's already established to be previously established your friend, you still have to actually work up the trust level to get him to join the club. Myra doesn't get away easy with just pressuring people into it because they're her friends. Yep, we'll be in the same school again. My family's strapped for cash, we have to work past time. Why do you ask? Yeah, that's why you have to resolve her problems with her family's shop, because otherwise she doesn't have enough time to do the club. Oh, that's right, that's why you were living with your grandpa, huh? My parents didn't have a choice, I don't want to burden Gramps. Yeah, I understand. It's just to see, I'm starting a new club. And I was wondering if you'd like to join, that is, if you don't have another club in mind. Wow, your own club? I'd love to join, of course. That was quick, I didn't even say what kind of club it is. Starting it will definitely be fun, sis. Oh, go like innocent enthusiasm, feeling under pressure. I need to mind the store and work my part-time job, so I might not be able to go every day, but I want to join. I'm really happy you joined, but maybe you should think it over a little more. But why? You're the one who asked me to join, I don't get it. I just feel a bit bad pushing a kid like you into joining. I'm not that young. Well, sleep on it and let me know. So yeah, as you can see, Myra's not as bad as she seems. She teases people, but if someone actually does go, hey, I'm just going to join your club without knowing what I'm getting into, she's like, no, actually, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to make sure you're absolutely 100% certain. Hey, Shinosuke, I'll grab this bottle first. Hey, Shinosuke. Oh, I guess it's an early event you're allowed to talk to me. It is an early cameo. Chit chat. I wasn't born a shrine maiden, only when I don these robes does my blood awaken to its true calling. What are you mumbling about? Let's part-time job. Dog! Can we talk to the dog? Woof! Gengaro says woof. I wonder what his name was in the English version. Hey, Gengaro, you're the only boy in this whole door. You lucky dog, you. Thank you, Amy. You should probably rest up because our fatigue is starting a little bit. But yeah, I think if you buy food items, you can recover your fatigue without wasting time. Hi sis, this should be a fun spring break. I had to go fishing in summer, baiting the hook, setting the line, like to catch a fish and cook it. Yeah, okay, she's the first one we can actually hang out with. Maybe we should wait to hang out with her until we're sure we have enough ability in something she might actually like. I can't remember what she likes though. I think she might be the one who likes games. Now we can get Shinosuke's scene. Yay! Extend the comedy man! That was his name in the westernized version. I laughed so much. This guy who's most obviously dressing in completely Japanese, his name in the dub version was Stan the Comedy Man. It made me laugh, not in the intentional way. I think of all characters, they should have left him in Japanese if everybody else is going to be changed. Rakataro Manute! Definitely not Stan the Comedy Man! I know that face anyway, but I wonder what he's doing here. Whatever the reason, I can't miss his chance to say it. Yeah, so he's Myra's favourite celebrity in Japanese comedy. But it turns out he's secretly the dad of one of her classmates. But Shinosuke, who's his son, is the grumpy tsundere guy, and he's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed about my dad being a famous comedian. I can't admit that I also want to become a comedian too. Ooh. And then you convince him to be more honest about his hobbies and enjoy himself some more. It's sweet. How may I help you? I was wondering if you're the Rakataro Manute. Yes, I am he. I'm just your average high school student, Mario Hubisu. I've been studying the art of comedy for years and years now. I just wanted to say I really love your stuff and I watch it all the time and yeah! Why, thank you. I want to have such a young fan like yourself. So what brings you to my town? Are you doing a show here? Actually, this town is my home too. Really? I don't know what to say. I live in the same town as Rakataro Manute. Stand-up comedy man. You can see how automatically every dialogue box in this would be completely ridiculously stupid. I am 100% glad that the undub patch exists just for this man alone. I grew up in this town. I still return from time to time. Plus, I get to spend some quality time with my son. You have a son? Why, yes, he goes to Cherry Tree High. If you meet you, I do hope you'll say hi. Believe it or not, he can get rather lonely at times. He's such a good dad. But I remember when I first played this, I hated Curtis. That's his name in the westernized version, Curtis Campbell. But no, Shinazuki, I hate him because he's so mean to his nice and lovely, wonderful dad. But yeah, he does warm up better later on. Got it, just leave it to me, sir. Great, now I'm afraid I must go, but it was nice meeting you. Same here. That was amazing, what a star! And he has a son here. I think this warrants a little investigative footwork. So now can we go find him at the shrine? Shinazuki, you're not here. Shinazuki. Are you in school, Shinazuki? Watch me brighten your life with my warm kindness and unsundariness. No, Shinazuki. I guess we have to wait until he reappears at the shrine. Oh, here you are! Fire Lost Magazine? Hello there, Myro. So we can hang out with her now. Okay. Shinazuki! Oh, god damn it, Shinazuki! When do I unlock you, Shinazuki? I guess I have to wait for the plot. Where was the arcade? Because I think we need games for Amane. I think she's the one who likes games. If I remember correctly in my muffled mind of many a year. Hey, Chitose. I wish that we could befriend her by the end. But I think in the final ending, you also become friends with her too. Let's game! You took on all comers in a fighting game. Video game skill increased a little. It's going to be like upgrade one skill and then we'll try and do a hangout with somebody. Let's gaming again. Yay, our gaming is up! Let's talk to Amane next time you have a chance. Let's check out the calling a friend. We can't call a friend yet. We can see a call interface at least. Save my game, Hoemi! Save my game, looks like you saved my heart. Let's magazine! And we need pets for the other girl. One feature contained many sweet pictures of readers' pets. Your pet's skill increase. Yay! Okay, where is Amane? Let's try out at least one hangout. Yeah, let's try one hangout to show before we finish up. Yeah, and then you get to talk about which one of your skills you'll talk about. And then if you get the right one, you get a bonus. And I think once you get certain milestones, you get scenes. It's like similar to social links in that way. I think you liked video games. Spent time talking with Amane about video games. Oh, I guess she didn't like video games. Oh, wow. Let's try talking to her about another few things. I guess we can't. She's not here anymore. Let's go raise our stats some more. I want to see at least one scene. Shinazuki. God damn it, Shinazuki. Let's money. Let's game. Let's stat ups. Maybe we'll wait until the stat gets high enough and then we might have more of a chance of getting a level up. I think I remember they said that in the guide, like, focus for the first half of the game on mostly just you getting stats up. And then in the later half of the game, then you start actually talking to everybody. Because you get a higher amount of friendship points for higher stat is, and you can only talk about each subject once, I think. So if you try and talk to everyone early on when you only have like level 1 in every stat, then you'll end up losing all chance to actually talk to people. That's also, whatever one mild thing is a weird way to soft lock people out of the game, but now that you know that's what happens, you won't be soft locked out of the game, so yeah. Shinazuki! God damn it, Shinazuki! Oh, that's where you have that. It's a bit tricky to find out how to get Shinazuki then, because he's standing all the way around the town and you have no idea how to talk to him. You have to go into school and read this book to find out more about Rantaro, so you know that Shinazuki is his son. Rakataro? Oh, here we go. Rakataro Manute, real name Shinsaburo Kamakata, hometown Cherry Tree Town. Kamakata, huh? I swear I've heard that name before. Shinazuki Kamakata? Student roster, where is that? Hey, another cutscene. You called me here just to see the student roster? Isn't it time you outgrew this silly detective phase of yours? If we were in a murder mystery novel, I bet you'd be the first victim! And just what you mean by that, I would be a genius detective. You really have a vibe of Franziska von Karma, so I think I know who you would be. What are you investigating anyway? She's ignoring me, how dare she? Oh, I found him. Shinosuke Kamakata, he's a freshman. So he's in the year below me. Shinosuke? Oh, that boy that half the girls in the school have a crush on? Don't tell me you're interested in him as well. Oh yes, very interested. Here, you can have this back. But what's with her? the misconception that Mario is straight has now been planted. She's never spared 2 thoughts for guys or dating until now. Exactly. Maybe I should keep an eye on her just in case. Maybe you should smooch. Now can we find Shinosuke and be friends, Shinosuke? No, our second time, and we've gone over an hour and probably more, including the time I spent translating the official website, but I don't want to stop playing! Shinosuke, we'll find Shinosuke! Well, we'll show at least like 50% of the characters. And then Shinosuke... I don't even know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Shinosuke. Oh, hello, Amane. Shinosuke! Shinosuke! Can I friend you now? Yeah! At last we meet Shinosuke Kamakata! Very at last! Why did you call me out here? And aren't you Mairo Bisu? Bingo, glad to hear glad to hear you know my name. Heard about you. They say you climb Mount Everest and you keep a wild beast in your dorm and you're actually over 30 years old. 2 of those are correct, but I'm pretty sure all those are rumors when I started. Oh my god, Mario, you're the best protagonist. She started them about herself? Anyway, what do you want? I don't really want anything per se. I was just wondering if you know Rakutaro Manute. What about him? I just noticed that Shinosuke doesn't have a nose. Everyone else has a nose. Like, his hair is parted not in a way that would cover his nose. He's so grumpy his nose has left him. Oh, nothing. I just saw him on TV recently is all. You watch that sort of stuff? I thought only old people watched his act. Comedy is comedy. Can't say I watch him all that often, but it's still great stuff. I really admire his talent. You admire him? What's there to admire? I don't get it. So you watch his stuff too? No, I just know about him. Is that so? I'm just Padawan level at comedy, but he's very funny. That much I do know. How can you stand to listen to him? His material is really old. There are loads of younger comedians around with fresher stuff than that old man has. It may be true, but I wasn't talking about his act. I was talking about him. I mean, he broke ground for a lot of what we see today. What we see in today's comedy. That's pretty amazing. Haven't you ever wanted to know what makes people laugh and then actually use it on people? Not really. I don't see how it has anything to do with me. So you aren't interested at all, even a tiny bit? No, not even a tiny bit. I think we're done here and have a nice day. Yeah, he doesn't have a very good first impression. For someone who claims to have no interest, he sure does know a lot. Yeah, that's he secretly wants to be a comedian like his dad, but he's embarrassed because his dad is like old style comedian and he thinks like, oh, he'd be made fun of and stuff like that. So you help him awaken to his own desires to become a comedian too, and stop being quite so grumpy and pretending to dislike things when he actually likes them, and like, yeah, brighten up his life, bring him happiness, bring him friends, and he ends up becoming a lot nicer by the end of the game. He's still not my favourite, but he is very, very nice by the end. It smells opportunity. Yeah, like even any character in this game which like start off seeming bad in the introduction, by the end they're your wholesome best friends. And with that, Shinosuke became a target for recruitment. Let's just keep going until we see one friendship level up scene. Mario, thank goodness you're here. What's wrong? There's a pale, scary person dressed in all black and lying at the dorm's front entrance. All in black? Don't tell me deaf? I should never have picked up that notebook. Okay, the reference before was intentional. What should we do? No one wants to go near it. It's really scary. Don't worry, just leave it to me. Here, even deaf can die of laughter. If you say so. Hi, Haru! What the? No reply. Is she dead? Huh? Yo, girl, you finally showed. Hey, it's you. What are you doing here, Haru? Not much. Wonder if you had any food. If I remember correctly, Haru is still Haru in the westernized version. Haven't eaten since yesterday. Oh, gonna faint. Haha, yikes. Fainted from not eating in a while. What do you think this is, a comic book? But shh. No, it's a visual novel. It's a friend of yours, Mario. If it is, you better do something about her. Ha, right away, Harugo. So then, can we have Haru for dinner tonight? Don't see why not. This is wicked! I haven't had food this good in ages. Well, they say there's no food like free food. You a runaway or something? No, well, how to put it? Harry works part-time for a living, so sometimes it can be a little hard to make ends meet. There, don't cry. Sounds rough. Look, it's late, so why not stay the night? But I couldn't. Don't sweat, it's a rickety old dorm, not some fancy hotel. Rickety, you think I don't do my job? Anyway, just stay, okay? If you say so, thanks. Karuka's cool. I bet she never told you she was in a gang back in the day. Oh, so they do mention it in the game. Really? No, but it doesn't surprise me. You sure have your ear to the ground. So I heard you'd moved into a dorm. I didn't think my first visit would go this way. It's been a while, Herb. You seem in good spirits, so that's good. That's supposed to be a joke. You haven't changed a bit, you know. I seem to have gained a few grey hairs since I saw you last. Idiot, it's dyed white. It's dyed kind of pinkish lilac. Wow, that's some major bedhead. Hey, hands off, you should look in the mirror sometime. It's not bedhead, it just goes to show some people have no sense of fashion. I deliberately made myself look like a Rotom Gajinka. You're dead right, if you think it's fashionable, there's no helping you. By you. So yeah, Haru is, if I recall correctly, she's like our former friend from middle school who grown up and has like joined a band since we saw her last. And she doesn't go to school very often. She has to work a bunch of part-time jobs to make ends meet, and is also part of a band. So you encourage her to like come back to school, and she's like, oh well, it's only my last 2 years, it doesn't really matter. But you encourage her to come back to school and then join your club, and like she starts having more fun in school and like doing things more for herself rather than overworking and stuff. And you also like generally help her out by like letting her come to the dorm and like have food every now and again. Now, you guys seem like really good friends. You sure know a lot of people, Myro. She may be bad, but she's kind of rad. What sort of rapping? That was rapping? You two haven't met before? Haru and I have been friends since we were kids. We haven't met in a while because I missed a bit of school. A bit? You've all but dropped out. Okay, they'll explain the plot. I shouldn't have even bothered. It's not too late to make amends. Give up on your rock band and join our comedy band. Hey, you trying to recruit me? It isn't going to work, you know. I always thought you were funny, Haru, but with your new look, you're perfect at comedy. Mario, you can be a bit mean sometimes. Oh, blow it out your ear. Rock and roll is my life, girl. It's so noisy and headache-inducing. That is kind of thing, like, it's relatable and understandable. Like, a character who is always trying to be funny might sometimes end up being a bit mean by accident. That attitude to make every rocker an enemy for life. That depends. What does rock mean to you? Huh? Well, it's about heart and soul and spirit. The pounding of drums, the bass thumping, and the wailing of guitars. Well, a comedy band isn't that different. It started back in the 1920s, peaking in the 60s. That doesn't stop it from being relevant today. The Drifters are a prime example. Oops, I might have sounded geeky there. Since I saw you last, I've taken annoying to a whole new level. Haha. So what are we going to do about sleeping arrangements? Indeed, we only have 2 beds. I'm fine sleeping on the floor. No, hold on, I have an idea. Let's share beds! And they were roommates. Oh, they were roommates. What? Her stay in my room with me? Okay, that's a more practical solution. Please, you're the only one with a spare bed. Like, she's really scary. She might look like a mad dog, but inside she's really nice. I don't know. Just keep your distance, maintain eye contact, and don't show her that you're afraid. Treat her like a bad dog? An animal lover like you should be fine. You put up a good fight. I can hear you, you know. And with that, Haru became a target for recruitment. I should probably stop playing soon, but Let's magazine! Let's she's the one who likes music. The idols can introduce new bands from across the globe. Your music skill increased. Okay, do I have level 2 in any other skills? Whodunits. I don't know if she likes whodunits. I want to see if I can get a stat up of you. I'm all of 15 years old, so I should carry myself like a lady now. Yeah, what she want? A round of applause? Spend time talking with Amani about whodunits. Feel closer to Amani. Yay, we got a stat up. Okay, let's see one and that's probably a good place to stop before I get addicted. Hey, someone's here, a customer? Oh, I guess not. Yay, we're starting our plot with a business lady. Hope I remember this all correctly. No one goes to a candy store wearing a suit. I want to do it now, it sounds fun. Unless we're a total slacker maybe, but she doesn't look like a slacker. She looks like a lady. Yeah, that's it, alright. Too bad you'll never grow up to be like that. Meanie. What do you mean by never, sis? You said this the other day, I could even be a soccer star if I wanted. I think it was volleyball star. Anyway, I wonder what she wants. I'm going to go talk to her for a sec. We're not done, so don't go anywhere. Hello, may I help you with something? I'm Tamai Tabita, head of the Mishima Group's Urban Development Division. That's a bit of a mouthful. And you are? I'm Amani Inubo. I live here. Ah, you must be the owner's granddaughter. Pleasure to meet you. See, she looks quite old in her portrait. They pulled off an old-looking face of her. Everyone still just have the same round face shape, but they definitely did a lot more here. Ah, you must be the owner's granddaughter. A pleasure to meet you. I just finished speaking with your grandfather, Genzo Inubo. About what? We, the Mishima Group, are expanding our sweet candy store chain. As part of this expansion, we propose to merge this store into our chain. What? Do you mean you want to buy our store? Put it bluntly, yes. No, never! I'll never let that happen! For maybe so bold with research your store's earnings as the results indicate? Well, even paying for your schooling must be a struggle. Taking the mid to long range view of these small mom and pop stores won't last much longer, so joining our group should be mutually beneficial to both parties. But then, who would run the store? We would manage the day-to-day running of the store. If you wish, as store owners, you could take part in the store management. You could leave outfitting the store to you, so you'd be free to add your own youthful touches to the ambience. What did Gramps say about all this? He said you put the decision in your hands. Mine? This is all so sudden. I can't make a decision like that right this instant. The Mishima Group believes in developing neighbourhoods cooperatively with the residents. We do not believe in coercion, and we want all sides to be happy. We believe we can come to an agreement that will fully satisfy you. The one good businessman in existence. The only good capitalist. Please discuss this with your family and let us know the outcome. Okay. This pamphlet details the terms of the offer. Please have a look. I hope that next time we meet we can speak with more detail. Have a good day. What's wrong? You look depressed. Oh, I know what it is. Don't sweat it. In about 10 years, give or take, you'll mature some too. That's not it. She said they want to buy up our store. Seriously? Again? She said that since we don't make much money, why not join the Mishima Group's candy store chain? Oh, I see. Well, they do own pretty much everything else in town. So, what happens now? Gramps is leaving the decision up to me. Times are tough. We probably think it's better for us to accept the offer instead of staying like this. I see. The only reason we still have the store is because I wanted to keep it. I guess it really is up to you to consider the offer and decide on it. It's all so sudden. I know it's not a bad offer, but well, if we lose the store, we'll probably have to leave town. Move back in with your folks, right? Probably. How? What should I do with my life? No idea what to do. Don't panic, don't panic. The more you panic, the less you'll grow. Are you hexing me? Sorry, hexing and vexing are the only things I'm good at in these situations. Myra, can't you help me? Save me here. Superheroes can only swoop in at the last possible second. Some friend. I'm kidding. You know, this is one of those things you have to decide for yourself, otherwise you'll regret it later. I know. Don't worry, life is long and full of turning points. You have to get back to the dorm, Marnie. Yeah, and we got her phone number. Okay. So yeah, if I remember correctly, the way her story resolves is she works up the courage to say, yes, I do want to keep the store, and she like makes a good argument with good points like why smaller mom and pop stores like this, like local businesses are better than everything being bought out by a franchise chain. And then the reasonable businesswoman listens to her argument and says like, I respect you, and I just want to hear her opinion about it. Like, like a secret test of character to know if you really are as cool as your grandpa said you are, and like we've already talked about this with your grandpa, and he agrees that he wants to do this too, and then. They work a deal out where like they will still work together and bond together with the group, like, however you put it. But they still let them keep the branding and let them continue running the shop themselves, and they make a compromise where they're financially supporting them now, but they're not taking over and destroying the shop. And then it all works out great and everyone gets to stay. And Amani along the way learns a good lesson about how to have more confidence in herself, to have more confidence that she can make decisions, to do what she wants to do, and to not to look up to adults and think that they should make all the decisions and stuff like that. It's a really good and motivational story. But in the end, it's like, and I've decided I want to join your club, Myro. And she's like, oh, well no, I don't want to pressure you to do anything. No, I made this decision as my own. Just as like I made this decision on my own. I made this decision on my own. I want to help you back in return. I'm going to join your club. And it's really warm and lovely, and I love it. I love this game. I love this game so much. I need to force myself to stop playing this game because my eyes are hurting from playing so long. I need to go buy groceries. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna stop here, and then I'm gonna go and I'm editing to have all my stuff talking about the sequels and talking about the beta content on the website and everything after this. Okay, farewell. Forcing myself away from the game. Actually, let's finish up this day so I can save, because you can only save once per day. That's the only one minor thing is a limitation to saving, which might just be necessary because of the engine. Let's watch a movie. What is the movie? Professor Tabby or Baseball Schmoes? Professor Tabby, let's go with that. I'm assuming that's like a mad scientist cat. A heartwarming tale of a professor in search of his beloved tabby cat. Okay, that's cute. Your pet skill increased. Yay! My throat is hurting, I should have drunk a food. Drunk a drink and eat a food. I'll go drunk a drink and eat a food. That's a sign that definitely I'm running out of brain. Let's end this with a nice conversation with Hoemi. Oh, Myro. What's up? Oh, recently I've had this strange feeling like I'm being followed. Maybe it's a ghost, because so can perform an exorcism on you. This isn't a joke, Myro. Do you think you have a stalker? I can't say for sure, but I felt like I was being followed from the cafe and walking home from school. You're serious? But why would anyone follow you? It's not like you're a celebrity or something. I don't know either, but it's just I don't like it. Well, next time you feel a presence, let me know and I'll get right on it. Alright. Yeah, that's the start of the plotline where you get the Playboy guy. Yeah, he is introduced being bad. I don't think he is actually a stalker, but he was like mistaken for stalker, and he's a bit of a creep and a playboy when you actually meet him. But he also gets developed and he ends up okay in the end. He's still a character I overall hated at least because he starts off being such a the most jerk of everybody. Anyway, let's end on that. Let's end on imagining Mario sitting on this funny little cushion, hugging that bunny doll, and having the most wonderful day in the universe. And going on a nice date with Hoemi or like one of the other million girls, and just I love this game so much. This has cleared me up so much. Here's a tangent I went on when I want to find out what Futon Girl means. No Google, I did not misspell fangirl. What does Futon Girl mean? The only references of this anywhere on the internet are to the game, and people saying what does Go-Go Futon Girl mean. Wow! Looking at boards that came out when this game first came out, well, it's nice to know that the gaming landscape has changed in time. There are still awful people who sling slurs everywhere, but it's not so much everywhere everything. Yeah, there's also the R word earlier up, so that board is not where I'm going to be finding what the hell Futon Girl means. How many girls are there? Are a lot of hentai scenes? And people saying the localization is bad. That's very much not the opinion. Like, when the patch came out to restore all the names, when the localizers literally listened to everyone and did what they said, everyone complained and went, oh, I want to go and play the old version again, and then they had to bring the old version back again as a patch. It just shows how back and forth fandom opinions are. It's always just whatever you do is wrong. And again, I'm glad that things have changed nowadays. Well, there is still a very much, the developers are never going to do anything right. I've decided they're wrong from the beginning, but it's not everything. It's not overwhelming. It's not like that you can't find a good fandom anywhere. Oh, I found an original Japanese page for the game. I didn't see Manken was the original name for it. Loaf and the world loaf with you. It is always funny seeing the use of English words just for flavour. You can get an iPhone skin for it. Oh, I wonder what this is. This is some kind of entirely different game. Let's put Google Translate on and see if there are any interesting things within this. Oh, I see. This is like, it's for a game called Let's Take the A-Train 3D. They just recreated their town in that. That's actually really fun. It's like basically the equivalent of like making it in Roller Coaster Tycoon or Sims or something. That's neat. So this is like, I guess, a fan art page. A bit of context, the reason why Gridmeisters is not changed in the undubbed translation is because it seems the Japanese name of it was just Smile Girls in English. One, it would come off as not being delocalized even if you did delocalize it, and two, it's just not a very interesting English name in English. Oh, bonus materials. Okay, it seems Google Translate does not seem to work on this page. Also, it's all baked into the images, I guess. Some little doodle of like how they were sketching out and planning the side view sections. I don't know what these blurred out things are, maybe some kind of spoiler thing that happens. They have a massive spreadsheet they were doing to manage all of the balancing and stuff for how to make it all work. This would be really helpful as a guide if I could see what it actually meant. I went and copy-pasted stuff into Google Translate, did Google Lens, everything I could to try and get some of this translated, and here's my rough commentary on that. All the bits I can translate just say, this is a screen showing the backgrounds, this is how we plan out the backgrounds. And I have no clue what it actually says in the image. They made sure to specify which bits you can move and walk over and which bits can be inspected. The mosaicked out images are reference photos of real life locations, which they had to blur out for the sake of this to avoid copyright. Sample materials used during production to show how everything's put together. This is a screen flow, which is apparently something you have to do while developing a game, how everything goes together to make the gameplay loop. So I guess it seems making the UI was like one of the first steps in the game. And the Excel screen show there is showing all the specific coordinates for where all the things should be, how to combine the different images to make the UI. It seems that the way it was made in RPG Maker was they made multiple images for each section of the UI in Photoshop, like including the entire screen, and they would layer them over each other rather than getting the game to actually render this in any way. That's a useful way of compromising. It says X, Y here, it's all like, This is how we get this thing to stick over here, this is how we get this thing to stick over here, and then like we pretend, like, it's like different, it's like multiple map layers showing all these layers of it. And this was indeed a chart of all the different things that you can do on every screen, how much stats they raise, and then balancing it up to show, to make sure it was all balanced and it was actually possible to complete the game correctly. So they actually did play testing, and that's probably why this game is one of the best RPG Maker games. Just throwing it out there, and it's so strange how many games don't in any way play test whether like the balances actually work. It's a lost art. This page is a game proposal that was thrown around to people to try and get a license for it. It says February 2009 is when that happened. It was originally planned to be purely a visual novel or just a text-based game, but then they thought it would be cool to see it all come to life and be actual explorable side-scrolling. And this was the initial proposal, and a bunch of placeholder screens, which look so close to the final bit I didn't even realise these were just placeholders. These are placeholder screens made before they actually programmed all the way it actually worked. And the way it keeps talking about, proposals went back and forth on this and we had to fill these out to give to people. It seems like maybe there was someone else who was doing the programming and like the developer was doing the designs for it. Or this might just be the designer and the developer talking back and forth between each other again. Oh, and interestingly, you can download the Japanese version of the game just from the site. Yeah, released for free since February 2024. So yeah, when the game was no longer able to be distributed in English, it has also been made completely free in Japanese. So I think that's a bit of an outright sign that the developers would be completely happy if you did play the pirated version or to still play it, because they've literally made it free to play in Japanese. It's just the English version is not free to play. It's like you can't find it officially anywhere anymore. So yeah, if you speak Japanese, go and play the free Japanese version. If you speak English, go and find the English version wherever it may lie. Oh, we have a character relationships chart. It's a shame I can't understand this. I'm presuming that either says best friend or like they're in love, because come on. A much larger image of the game map. We've got a unique little design of Myru just going hey while it all explains like the time limits you have and stuff. Much more images I can't translate, alas. Oh, some sketch ideas of the characters, yeah! It seems her shirt instead of Go-Go Fruitin' Girl said begin. And instead of a little cat it was a little mouse. I like this design of her in a school uniform with buttons and stuff. She also seemed to have a bag in the original sketches. But as you can see with everything else being coloured, it seems like it got rejected early on. As the main character, I aim for a feeling that followed the classics. It's said that the hair on her sides can be removed and used as a weapon. Not true. It's no secret if you look at just her head, she looks like some kind of fish creature. The design was more boyish and crisp than I expected, and it gave a strong impression as the main character, which is a great help. Oh, it's less hair at the back. Did I notice that? Oh yeah, there's less hair at the back. She had a ponytail at the back already. I didn't even notice that. That was removed so she doesn't look too girly. So her being a very tomboyish design is intentional, and her hair is a warm colour because it's a comedy game. And the game's UI being yellow is to match with her hair being orange. Oh, Hoemi looked really different with her hair down. I wouldn't have even guessed that was the same character if not for the same outfit. And here she is with her hair up, yay! Buddy, she's supposed to look like one of those little squishy head things with her hair. Oh my god, I remember those. I need to pop an image of that. What are they called? I remember those from when I was a kid. I love those. This version has a quiet, childish design due to lack of explanation. It seems there's two voices here of the designer and the creator of the game, so it seems that this version of Hoemi doesn't look so much like what they wanted because they didn't give enough information to the designer. At least that's what I'm getting from this vague Google translation. It says that more of a Bishoujo game character. So yeah, more of a dating sim character look. The next design that was rearranged to match more with the creator's specifications. A hairstyle that they personally rarely draw to make it refreshing. A nice little clarification here that sometimes Hoemi is gruff with Myru and tries to like make her be more serious. Their backstory is that Myru's helped her out in the past. She used to be quiet and shy, but after meeting Myru she's become brighter and she does genuinely respect and care for her deeply. And her name comes from the same pun as Myru because she's Myru's companion, as it's put here. So yeah, basically they have a lot of they're best friends canonically, but I also felt a lot of shipping teams from. I don't know if it's intentional or not. The writing here is very vague, but they were made to be complementary to each other, design and personality wise, at the very least. No, more blue hair for her, and the dog was much more majestic. At first the hair colour was bright blue, but because she's meant to be a modest and shy character, it seemed it didn't quite fit. But I still wanted to give her an unusual hair colour, so they settled with a slightly more turquoise green. Oh, and originally the plan was this character was going to be introduced in mandatory in the story at the third year, but instead she's the first character who gets introduced in the story. That's cool. Also confirmation the dog is the Afghan hound breed. It seems the design was settled on really fast for Mai, but her personality wasn't developed at this point in development. It was like, we want some character who has a cat hat. Apparently it also wasn't decided that she was going to be younger than the rest of the cast at this point. Also there's some details on the back of her hoodie where she has like a little belt type tail thing, which can't be seen in the final game, but it's still supposed to still be there. She seems also not to change at all. Haru is meant to look rebellious by having cool dyed hair, but in this setting so many characters' natural hair colour is wild random blues, so maybe for all we know her natural hair colour could be an even crazier colour. And she changed a lot. But she's a transfer student who is from Canada, so the token Western character who doesn't quite speak the language yet. Her design, aside from the head and the hair, I think her outfit was totally different in the final version, even though I'm just not remembering what it shows up. Oh yeah, this is what she is more in the final version. No, that's what she is in the final version with the stripies. I remember that now. Vivian is supposed to be Canadian right from the start and not American, so I guess maybe the design was changed for being a bit too American and not Canadian with the cowboy hat. Oh, her name in Japanese is Lavian instead of Vivian, and it says they made up the name by combining the words love and merry to make her just sound like she's from the West. The reason they no longer have a 10-gallon hat is just because, we couldn't really include that because it wouldn't make any sense if she was allowed to wear it as part of her school uniform, so she wouldn't get to see it very often, also we couldn't see much of the back of it. There's actually nothing about the fact that 10-gallon hats are not Canadian, they're actually American. So I guess maybe the developers didn't know. He used to have a cool bandana. Yoshiki's design was just make a guy who looks like a pickup guy. Lol. And his original clothes in here are a bit too dark and looks too much like Shinosuke, so he'd make him a more brighter colour to show how silly his personality is. Yeah, this is the Playboy guy's the only guy I didn't really like. And he's the guy whose surname was Campbell in the dubbed version and oddly the same as mine. Shinosuke was just designed instantly, came out exactly how we wanted. The only description the creator gave was make him look kind of grumpy and like a prince. I say we pulled it off. I can't remember her name. All that coming to my brain is Chi-Chi. I can only think of her in her name. No! I'm becoming Myru too much. But yeah, she's got an entirely different, happy, smiley face here, so she's not a rival in the original. Infant Terrible in English just stuck out there. I really want to know what it says. Come on, Google Translate. Raspberria? Shitose's original design was based on someone called Raspberria from the visual novel Infant Terrible. Absolutely zero information available on the internet except this one image. It was something else made by the same developer. And then the design was changed to diversify her a bit more. And also to fit more of her personality. Also, that might explain why one of the beta screenshots had Raspberria as one of the names in the emails. Shrine Maiden Lady with the legs of Chun-Li has not changed very much. The designer says, I think the Shrine Maiden Lady is actually an omniscient and omnipotent being who oversees everything from within the shrine. And the creator of the game says, actually, yeah, she has real supernatural powers. They're living up to the Chuck Norris levels of badass she has in-game. Also, she was originally going to be a friendship target, but was reduced to this minor role of being the part-timer because they had too many characters. I think it's a shame because I cared about her much more than all the others. I wanted her to be one of the main friends because it does make sense if she isn't part of a school and is doing a part-time job, but she couldn't join the club. Kaoruku also didn't change very much. Okay, it says Kaoruku was formerly a Yankee, which is a type of delinquent when she was younger. Her age was originally conceptualized as 32, but it might be younger in the final game. Even the developer doesn't really know what age that they want it to be. A business lady who initially starts off as seeming to be a villain for the shopkeeper daughter's plot, but then she ends up actually being completely reasonable and it all resolves much better than expected. Random trivia: cannot sleep without a cuddly toy. That is cute. The immigrant lady's older sister. Not much notes about Lavian's sister, except she was designed to look more fantasy-ish in her outfit just because that was an appeal that the designer liked. And it was something that was missing in all the other characters. And she's 2 years younger than Kaoruku, and it said, oh, maybe she was also a delinquent. And her colour scheme was changed to be more blue instead of red in the final game. And this is just a random guy who is an NPC of the fellow bandmate of Bones Fat Man. Bones Fat Man? Your name is now Bones Fat Man. I can't remember what his name actually is, but he's an NPC who appears very briefly in the Rocker Lady story. Like a kind-hearted older brother figure, but not actually her brother. Says he's so polite he doesn't even headbang when he's rocking out. And he's the person who has the most common sense in the game. Also, it's a 4-person band, but it didn't make any designs for the other 2. Dan the Comedy Man! For Shinosuke's dad, they said he is the most moe character in all of Manken. I agree this grandpa is moe. Also says there's a hidden Easter egg command that will change every character's face into him. I want to know what that is. Is that still in the English version? I've heard no one ever mention that. Also says that Shinosuke's the parents being so different is because he takes after his mother. So presumably if we ever actually saw his mother, she would have long black hair. Here's some concept of the uniforms. Why are we standing on a dog? Looks like it's for summer uniform, but they still have short sleeves even in winter. They designed Hoami's version of the outfit first, and then they used that as a basic design to customize everybody else's. It says that this school has lax rules about uniform and you're allowed to customize however you want. Although they don't appear in the game, cosplaying students dressed like ninjas totally attend. And these are the ones who customize their uniform a bit more. We decided from the beginning that Lavian would be the only character wearing a different uniform to show that she's an international transfer student. But the original design was a bit plain, so we thought let's make her a sports uniform. So the one she wears right now is specifically the lacrosse uniform. Also, this is Harrow's design if she ever actually wore the uniform, but she doesn't actually at any point during the game. Different ideas for the uniform, maybe? This picture is indeed trying out different earlier designs for it. The mysterious character on the right is the first original design for the school uniform and a character that didn't end up making it in the final game. Here's Hoami's little uniform for a cafe. Putting a note down here that they wanted to have a sprite or a BU, which is bust up, which is apparently what Japanese uses to refer to visual novel character portraits. That's interesting. They wanted to have a version of Hoami's waitress outfit as a sprite or a bust up during the game, but instead it only appears in cutscenes. Oh, the chibis! I love the chibis. Myru is a dangerous girl who eats potato chips with her left hand. I'm assuming that's a Death Note reference. And the title screen. Yay! It's originally that it was going to just be Myru and the cherry tree in her hand holding out to offer you to join her, but then the designer said, why don't we put all the characters in to show what the appeal of a game is immediately? So we have the final composition is a mix of both of those ideas. Apparently beta working out the interface and there used to be a mail option that isn't there anymore. I love how funny the placeholder text is. S. Yeah, that's a page about things that were removed. Emails randomly arrive during the game. Your favorability will increase or decrease depending on the way you respond. I cut it because it was too difficult to implement, and even if it were possible, it would change the gameplay too much. Wouldn't it be interesting if you show a gap between yourself and your normal life? I talk much more when I email. That's what I thought. Pop-ups to the top. Oh, this is an audio commentary feature. A bonus element after clearing the game, you get all the characters commentating on things and little bits of trivia. Oh, I said they would like to include it if they made a more complete version, but I guess that didn't happen. Oh, darn, I would have really liked that idea. I would love to hear more about the development of the game. I just love the characters. Having even more talking with the characters would make everything even better. Miscellaneous stuff looking at the game files. I was surprised actually that the localized and delocalized version are two separate applications within your Steam menu. The one just called Game is the localized version, and the one with the actual title of the game is the changed one with the Japanese names put back in. The way the side-scrolling maps are handled is they just have a tile set with just all of the images put on it. I'm assuming if you loaded this up in the editor, these would all be broken down into little tiny squares. That surprised me because I just assumed it was using parallaxes. And the big character sprites they look like normal character sprites. That's very different from Sacred Tears True, where they had to split them all up into tiny pieces. So I guess it just shows how good the limit-breaking plugins had changed between these generations of RPG Maker. Another thing I never noticed in my playthrough is the final cutscene of the game actually changes depending on how many characters you've recruited, and there's a frankly ridiculous amount of variations for every single combination of them. I never really realised this because I never went for any of the incomplete endings. I had no clue there was so much variation. I wonder if they have different dialogue too. I went and found even more information. An old archived version of the original website posting the translation has an interview with the creator. It seems the name of the company that they made is a Doujin, aka indie company, and they needed to have a company name, so they made it 773, which is pronounced Nanami, and it's kind of a pun in Japanese. But it says even though they have a Doujin Circle group name, it's only one person. One person doing the main stuff of a game, and they outsource different people for the art and music in each game. And this person, their name is Hizume, and in all the interviews I found, only neutral they/them pronouns are used for them, so I don't know if this means this person actually is non-binary, or just because it's a Japanese person and these are interviews back and forth over the computer. Maybe they just declined to state their gender during these interviews for some reason. So I don't want to jump too much into it assuming, maybe this person might be NB like me, but if they are, I'm just saying, if hypothetically a cool non-binary person in the 2010s made a really, really cool game, and I, a cool non-binary person in the 2010s, played that really cool game and had a great time, that would be really cool. Hypothetically. There's miscellaneous things in this interview. I won't cover all of it, but I'll definitely recommend. I'll put a link of this in the comments, along with a Japanese site link too. But just a few highlights. The developer says that their favourite character is Kozoko, which is my favourite character is Kozoko, which is most people's favourite character is Kozoko in the Japanese fandom. And I think, from what I remember of the English fandom, she was really popular here too. Everyone loves the mysterious trolling shrine maiden, who may or may not be an actual ghost. I honestly bet the developer is kicking themselves when they decided to not make her a friendship target in the end. Because that's literally what said in the interview on the Japanese side. Like, I was considering making her one of the friendable characters, but in the end I decided to make her a side character. And then she became the breakout hit of the entire thing. She became such a breakout hit. She was like one of the only fucking characters that made it into the terrible prequel. Monkey's Paw Curls. You wanted her to be a main character. You get it. You get a terrible version which has none of her personality in a shitty fan service app game. Oh, something that makes me really sad. The developer actually wanted to make a full-on actual sequel using the same recruitment system. A prologue setting up the secret backstory of the Grinmeisters, the stand-up duo that Myro admires so much that inspired to start the club. You start off with 2 characters in your club from the start and you get to switch between them. And that sounds so cool. Why didn't it happen? You see the foreshadowing of the Monkey's Paw Curling. It's like, oh wow, maybe instead of a direct sequel, we might make other games exploring the setting around Cherry Tree High School. Oh no, I wish you hadn't taken that path. Another interesting thing is, apparently this person made also Dead End Junction, which is another game I've heard of. It's not an RPG Maker game, so we can't do it as this marathon, but it's a really visually impressive visual novel. Here we go, I got the Steam page up here. An alternate universe version of Cowboy Times, taking on the prejudices against Native Americans and the scars left by the Civil War. Like, really bloody ambitious and really impressive that a Japanese person would make a game taking on some of the hardest and most awful parts of American history and portraying them respectively, but also fantasy-atized with like magical cat people. It's a bunch of various screenshots. You can see how interesting and unique the interface is. And also, I found out while checking up, well, even though the game has been delisted, apparently you can still download and play the demo at least in English, so that's one thing to know. There's also an interview with the translators about the translation priorities and stuff. Not going to cover most of this because most of it is stuff I just talked about naturally during the Let's Play that I already knew. But I found an interesting section here that has an example of the localization. It says they try to preserve as many Japanese jokes as possible. For example, the bit where it says a pun between a comic club and a comedy club, that was also there present in the Japanese version. And it says they retained any references to Japanese media which we recognise by most Western players. Such, for example, the Phoenix Wright references were already there even before the Phoenix Wright translators got on it, and the Death Note references were also already there. So the aim of the translation was to keep as much possible of all of the jokes, and only when a joke wouldn't be understood in English is when they changed it. An example is a scene which we didn't manage to see in our playthrough, but it was one of the funniest ones I loved. So Mario gets a random phone call and pretends that the president's on the other end of the line. In the Japanese she says, "It's the president, Lo Giodasso Stiana," which obviously is going to mean absolutely nothing in English. In Japanese there's actually a reference to the semi-popular trope in anime of a Tsunabu character, which here it's been literally translated high school second year disease or sometimes middle school disease. A person who pretends like, oh, I'm secretly a space alien, oh, I'm secretly... And the stereotype is like, oh, my left hand is shaking, I can't contain my powers, and stuff like that. Kids just starting puberty and trying to act all super edgelord and cool to everybody. And La Giudasso Stiana is a reference to a particular part of that meme. I guess it's kind of like, oh, I like your shoelaces, I stole them from the president, from Tumblr memes. It's supposed to be a code word that you say to find out somebody else is a Tsunabio like you. Oh, there's a conspiracy with the president, La Giudasso Stiana. Like, I'm part of the conspiracy, I know the secret code word. Honestly, I think if this game had been translated just a few years later, they would have actually changed that into the Tumblr shoelace president joke. But instead what we got was, the president was kidnapped, you say? Why, yes, I believe I am a bad enough dude to rescue the president. Which I think works really well, it's hilarious, and it's actually referencing another video game. Honestly, that sounds even more natural than the original, which was just kind of like referencing a general meme. It's actually wild to think that the Japanese version was referencing internet memes more than the English version. So I gotta give a massive thumbs up to that localization. It made me laugh my arse off. I didn't even expect it would be changed because that is something that you could imagine the Japanese version would have done that too because it is a Japanese video game. But it's specifically about a bad translation of a Japanese video game. So once you think about it for a second, you go, no, they wouldn't know that in Japanese because the game actually made sense in Japanese. But yeah. And now we have to talk about the disappointing sequels. No. Yeah, the first one, the only direct actual sequel, is Cherry Tree High, I, My Girls. This game uses the same art style as the first one and continues the story of the characters, but it's the first and worst part is it's purely a kinetic novel, not even a visual novel. You don't get to make any choice, you don't get to like raise any character relationships, you don't get any multiple endings. It is purely like a weirdly long kinetic novel. Like, kinetic novels are usually relatively short because like obviously there is no gameplay, you are just quite literally reading a novel with images popping up on screen. It honestly is what you'd expect from a named visual novel. Doesn't kinetic mean doing? So shouldn't a visual novel be a kinetic novel and the other way around? Anyhow, I'm getting distracted. Purely a bunch of continuing story with the characters, and the silly thing is, I would like that. Even if they did remove every part of the gameplay I liked, I would be like, okay, yeah, I want to see the continuing story of the characters, but no, the story is complete shit. Okay, maybe I'm good. No, it is complete shit. I can't even sugarcoat it. Instead of actually being really a continuing story of the characters, it's all about new character who is famous super pop idol person. Ooh, isn't she so great? Everyone loves her, and it's just entirely about her doing a super pop idol stuff. All of the characters, they now love new characters. It's very Persona re-release version adding Marie syndrome. But honestly, played off a lot worse than her. Because I really personally dislike what this new character represents, because the story is just repugnant. I got so mad at how it ruins the character arcs of the characters from the first game. You know Hoemi, the character whose entire point is being Myru's best friend and her partner in crime. They care about each other so much, they had loads of shipping teas and everything. You know what the new character is? Literally replaces Hoemi. You know that trope where it's like, oh, the new perfect person comes in and like, oh, you're worried that your best friend is gonna ditch you for them because they're so perfect and lovely, but you know, the way it always plays out is, oh, in the end you realise your friend does still love you and they'll never replace you with someone. No, the end of this is Myru does replace Hoemi with I. Myru and Hoemi can't be a comedy duo anymore. Myru met someone else who's better at being a comedy duo, and it's this lady who's also a famous idol and has like 5 different famous careers at once, and didn't need to also steal someone's best friend. Like, the thing is, I was reading through the whole way through, I was thinking maybe there's going to be a twist, maybe the ending is going to be like, Hoemi is going to realise she doesn't have to be super perfect to retain her best friend, she doesn't have to be everything. Like, maybe the plot will, at least even if the plot is like, Hoemi gets kicked out of being the comedy duo, there was a clear way they could have done this, like, had their idea of replacing Hoemi with I in the comedy duo, and also still not being really disrespectful to Hoemi. Hoemi herself does not want to be a stand-up comedian like Myru. She is Myru's comedy partner because at the start of the game, Myru didn't have enough people to join the club, and she was the only one who would help practice her comedy with her, but it was never, Hoemi never wanted to really join her and become a comedian. So you could have handled this plot well. It could have been about, like, Myru get someone else to be the comedian in the group because she doesn't want to pressure Hoemi to do something she doesn't want to do anymore. And then Hoemi gets jealous of a new girl, wondering, oh, if I don't help Myru with all this stuff, will she not want to be friends anymore? But it ends heartwarmingly with like, no, of course Myru still wants to be your friend even if you have different hobbies. You don't have to be a comedy partner to still be her best friend. But no, it is just, now I is Myru's best friend. It never brings up how Hoemi didn't actually want to be a comedian at the start of the first game. Everyone's a weird bit of out of character in this. The entire game just made me feel so shit for Hoemi, and especially because the relationship between Hoemi and Myru was like the best part of the first game. I shipped it so hard. And that's what's also extra frustrating. This game adds a new character who's a cool cross-dressing canonical lesbian, and at the same time breaks apart my favourite lesbian ship. That's honestly the only reason I would recommend playing this, is for some of the new characters. As far as I can remember, the lesbian lady is like an old childhood friend of the businesswoman lady, and they have a lot of cool shipping teams together. There's also I don't remember a single thing about Amari, sorry, but she's part of the Ninja Club. Like, you know, I was saying how I wanted to see the people from the Ninja Club. She, as far as I can remember, she was just really boring and a really big letdown. But at least there are a few nice new characters. And I suppose if you do want to know about boring, like, I don't say Mary's so easy, but Mary Sue idol lady. She's a famous idol who has to hide her identity to go to school because, oh, no one should find out she's a famous idol because, oh, they wouldn't want to be real genuine friends with, our protagonist, they like her both for her being famous and also her genuine personality. Really wish you'd show us that genuine personality. She has nothing beyond that premise of just, she's famous idol girl who is really, really great at everything forever. I despise her. I am so sorry. It's a shame because her design is genuinely cute. I like that colour scheme. But it also does just immediately represent what she represents for the game as a whole. Someone totally out of character of everything around her who warps the entire story with her presence. Like, they didn't even go with, like, her wearing the uniform with some minor modifications. Also, this is an idea of how long it is for a bloody kinetic novel with no... Also, they didn't even fix the typo of laugh and the word laugh with you. Maybe it shows that even the translators didn't like this very much. Because in the original, there were like a lot of places where there was English text already in the Japanese that was fixed, where there were typos. Like calendar had 2 L's and it didn't have the S on the end of laughs. It just didn't bother here. They just couldn't be asked. And I understand. They didn't even fix the title, which was, again, in English, in Japanese, it doesn't make any sense. It was just using English for the sake of coolness. The girl's name is I, as in AI, instead of I. But then what's the my, what's the girl's? All of the reviews, 100% of the reviews just agree with me on this, and I feel validated. And then the even worse prequel, Cherry Tree High Girls Fight, entirely different art style. It's now a boxing game. Why is it a boxing game? Of all fucking things, a boxing game. It's like a boxing stat builder game. At least they brought back to some degree of stat building. Does that look like Haru by any definition of the word? That looks like someone else cosplaying as Haru. Why is her face like that? Why she has none of her personality whatsoever? I mean, the new characters are just really generic and shitty. We got Cat Girl Lady who speaks in the third person, and like, and those two are the only two characters that returned from the previous games. Maru isn't here, Hoemi isn't here, none of the protagonists are here. Just the Shrine Maiden Girl and Haru, and they've been redesigned to be all busty and ridiculous and have zero personality and generic moe anime face. Genuinely, how can you even call this a Cherry Tree High game when out of 15 characters, 13 of them are entirely new made-up characters that have nothing to do with the previous games? It really does feel like they've just, like, arbitrarily shoved in 2 characters as an excuse to put this under the same franchise umbrella. All the reviews of this say that the dialogue in the game is really generic and boring, and no one has any personality, as opposed to the first 2 games that had so much personality. Also, it says that the raising things are, like, really unfair and randomized, and the battles are really unfair and randomized. There are so many negative reviews that just agree. It's actually reviewed mostly more positive in I My Girls, which I think is just people disliking the kinetic novel format, because honestly, I My Girls at least tries to be remotely connected. I would rate this one as worse, personally. It's just completely vapid and nothing. It feels like a bottom of the basement, like, gacha app game, but not. So, it again, one of those weird cases where things seem to be taking after app games and thinking adding app game things will be positive, because it makes sense at the time it came out, but it's just unnecessarily boring, annoying, frustrating, randomized things. Genuinely, only things I can say is a positive, but there is a mad scientist character in the game, and I genuinely like mad scientist characters. Even to me, she didn't rescue it for me. Sorry. So yeah, that is the ignominious fate of the game. It abandoned literally everything that made it unique and awesome, and just became the bare minimum, trying to get sales from fan service, not even giving a shit about having a story. Oh. So at least Dead End Junction exists, and that game looks to actually be a good game with good story and good graphical style and everything. At least the developers still went on and still continue to make more visual novel style games. I'll play that one in my own free time, and I'll see if it's the sequel that we really wanted. But until then, I'm going to be crying we didn't get the sequel that we really wanted. Oh god. Have you ever seen a flat-chested character be fan service more than this? They're finding whole new ways to scrape the bottom of that barrel. They have dug through the bottom and reached the centre of the world. Oh, also, I did finally find out what Go-Go Futen Girl means. Apparently, Futen is a different way to spell Fujin, the god of wind. So I guess that's pretty fitting. Myro is like a cyclone that blows through a school and shakes up everyone's lives with wonderful happiness. Let's end on this lovely note instead.